Hello, hello, dear listener. Hello, dear listener. Seems you have stumbled upon a recording. You've stumbled upon a recording that somebody has recorded. Some individual who's lived supposedly a completely different life to you. Completely different. Yet you are listening. You are listening for some strange reason you're listening to this recording. That's the funny thing. We're on YouTube right now together, and I am tubing. I am YouTubing. My ego is tubing onto the tubes. Mm. Listener, there isn't much for me to tell you, to be honest. But what I can say is I've been on a few adventures. This ego of mine. I've been on a few adventures to different worlds, different realms. I'm gonna try and recall an adventure I went on. Uh, this was quite a while ago, so my memory is already fading. But I will try and recall. I went to this strange land after a soul close to me had been put on the brink of its existence in the mortal realm. The soul was quite close to me. So I visited this soul. I looked around the material realm, and the material realm was in a very poor condition, a jarring condition. Conditions that I would never have expected a conscious being to be able to dwell in. And I tried my best to assist in the maintenance of this place, but the soul was stubborn, and they had great material attachment, extreme material attachment to the point where you couldn't rearrange anything in this room. You couldn't search anything. You couldn't try and organize anything because they would get very angry. And I always wondered why that was. Why was it that when you tried to, with best intention, make things better, the person would see it as a threat? Because I think I understand it now a bit better. Because that chaos was the only link to the only link to the material world that had persisted for so many years. And me organizing it would be a violation of this being's stake in reality. That was it. The clock ticks on the wall, and seconds go by. You listen to this recording of this lispy man, this lispy lispy individual who can't say his s's and and all those different sounds without slurring a defect of my mouth, of my vocal cords, tongue placement improper. It's a bit cursed. Maybe I'm over analyzing my own speech, but I always have, because I remember there was an individual in my life that put great emphasis on my inability to pronounce my S's, and then they would torment me on this topic. They would tell me, "Oh, you're so lispy. Oh, your voice is just so funny. It's just terrible. Your voice is just it's so bad. It's just so terrible." And, that sticks with a kid. That sticks with a young mind taking in information. Really does stick. Your voice itself is flawed. It's flawed. And so, I decided not to speak much. I closed myself off from the rest of the world. Really closed myself off from the rest of the world. When I was a detraction, I was supposed to talk about my adventure. But my adventures are here nor there. Right, I'm back. I just listened over my record. Oh, I don't listen over. I don't like to listen. I don't like to listen to my own voice, to be honest. It really pisses me off because I can hear every imperfection. Irrelevant to that point. I listened to some Alan Watts, some random, some random recording of him talking to a bunch of people, and he was talking about different religions. Talking about being spontaneous, and he was talking about the way of the Buddhism. Talk about a lot of things. The how the Japanese perceive religion compared to the Americans. I mean, it's pretty evident how the Japanese perceive religion. They see it as just this funny thing, as this funny thing that once was, and now they just sort of incorporate it into their fantasy mediums of anime, in their fantasy medium, in animation, in games, in stories. They just incorporate these tales of old, which is interesting. I do kind of see the West following in pursuit in a similar way. Same attitudes towards religion, definitely. The problem is our version will probably be a lot less graceful than the Japanese because of the economic issue. But then again, that will provide some a different flavor for the death of God. It'll provide a different flavor. something probably very a lot more gritty, more grungy, more less fantasy like. The escape will be seen as an escape and will not be seen as leisure. Because time for leisure will just reduce. And time in reality will increase. There'll be a lot more young people just sitting outside, contemplating, thinking about what's next to do. In a way, the homeless person embodies the spontaneous reality, spontaneity is something really. I believe if you're able to be spontaneous in your life, you'll definitely get to places. I mean, that's why I believe stupid people can make a lot of money because they will keep hitting the button to generate and to make business and to do things and to sell things over and over again in pursuit of money and fame and status, and they get a really good kick. They get a really good kick out of money and status, and it's something that I've struggled to cultivate this natural kick to anything. Well, I do have one kick, but it's slowly fading day in day out. My natural kick is fading, and therefore I'll be left with what exactly to do. Well, obviously, someone's gonna tell me, "Oh, well, you're making a recording and you're uploading it." All right. There's a high chance this will be just another recording that I'll upload and I'll forget about it. I've got a lot of shit going on in my life, to be honest. I mean, it's funny because simultaneously there's nothing going on, and simultaneously there's everything going on. And yeah, I just feel like I'm not really prepared for this society. So I'm not gonna really bother investing in becoming a normal, functional member of society because I never will be. It doesn't make any sense. I will instead direct my efforts into a direction that I've only known and has only brought me comfort. And that's it. Okay, let me tell you a story. I went to the River Thames the other day. Yesterday. Oh, and I went mudlarking. And now you might be asking me, what the hell is mudlarking? Well, from the name, mud. So something to do with mud. And I was at the Thames, right? And larking kind of sounds like lurking. So I was lurking in the mud. Well, basically, I was lurking in the mud. My shoes were covered in mud. Hands were dirty. And essentially, I was at the shore of the Thames on the Westminster Abbey. I had hopped over a fence, and this not a fence, it was this little gate. I didn't even hop over, I opened it. It's public access, it's not anything crazy. And I remember then I started just looking around on the bank of the river in low tide. I was looking around for these stones and rocks and things. And then I found these bones. I found these massive bones, clearly very old, from some large animal, maybe human, I don't know. And these bones, they must have been a good, I don't know, well, definitely more than 50 years, definitely more, possibly 100. I mean, these bones are black and they have like essentially the way everything is preserved in the Thames is everything goes into this mud, and the mud has essentially protects every organic item that goes into it by not allowing it to decay. And so these bones literally could sit there for hundreds of years and not decay, and then you just have bones, right? It's the same way you find dinosaur fossils and stuff. It's the same sort of thing. And so yeah, I got to find these bones, and this is something you. It's one of these experiences. You can't replicate this. Like no one's gonna tell you about this. You know, no one's gonna tell you about the bones by the Thames. You kind of stumble upon this stuff just out of pure spontaneous, being completely spontaneous in everything, in something you do. You have to be a bit fucked in the head, a bit of, or in terms of society standards, you do, I guess. You have to be a bit fucked. And so I collected these bones and I arranged them on a step. By now, the high tide has come and all those bones are back somewhere floating about. By the time, obviously, I'm not gonna take them home. I don't want to. I mean, these are like big fucking bones. I'm not gonna be carrying bones around. But anyway, I met two people. I met a man from Romania called, well, actually, I won't say his name. I met a man. I met a Romanian and I met a Brit. They were both mudlarkers as well, and they told me that they had waited 4 years for their permits, which I thought was a bit insane. That's neither here nor there. It is a bit insane. 4 years to sift through mud for some treasure. I mean, come on, that's a bit nuts in my opinion. So anyway, I asked if I could shadow them and if it was okay if I just like see their whole setup and whatever. And yeah, they showed me the metal detectors, these little pen metal detecting things, and it's like, and essentially they just went around and they found some. The English guy found a coin. Some other guy found a bunch of like rusty bolts and things, and it was good fun. I found actually something quite nice. I found see in a picture. It's the bowl of a pipe. The bowl of a clay pipe. And I asked one of the guys, "How would you? What do you think? How would you think this clay pipe?" Is?" And he was like, mid late 1800s, like 1860. It was interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, clay pipe. Holding it right now. I was thinking, you know, the 1860s. That would be how many years ago? A good few, for sure. 150, 150-ish, whatever. I'm just doing rough. I'm not gonna. No, I don't really care for maths too much, but so many years ago, and some guy didn't give a fuck. I mean, he had his pipe, probably broke it, snapped the head off, and then chucked it in the Thames, and that was it. God knows who he was. Was he some? I don't know who this guy was. No idea. And I wish I could find out more about the whole pipe thingy. It's funny, little clay pipe. I mean, no one talks about this shit. It's just incredible. Uh, so anyway, so I got this clay pipe and I said my goodbyes to the dudes, and that was it. Mudlarked a bit longer, and that's it. Well, anyway, while I've been recording from my 11th floor apartment, I'm gonna call it flat. I can see smoke bellowing from some point in the distance, not too far away. I would say maybe 2 miles, 2 miles away, something like that. I mean, the smoke's died down a bit, but it's still bellowing up out there. And I might just go and see what's up. I mean, it's been going on for like a good hour, good 2 hours now, maybe even longer. But there was a massive smoke there was a massive smoke cloud that built up on the skyline. Yeah. Right. Well, I think I've got nothing else better to say. So whoever's listening to this, take care.